I've ragged on the Stream Deck Mini many times in the past for being a little bit too expensive for what it does, and even when pitting it against the larger variants, it didn't really seem like a very good value to me. But after spending some time using this device for live streaming myself, I think that I've actually kind of become a little bit more open to giving this a chance, since I could have been too harsh on it in the past. So with that said, introducing the Elgato Stream Deck Mini right here. I know that this review is super late, but should you get one? Well, I think you should. Now let's go ahead and dive right into exactly why. Before we continue, don't forget that I have a Twitch channel that you can go ahead and follow me on for live microphone reviews and much more than that. But you're also going to find my Instagram and a link to the Tech Summit Discord in the description. So come join the community because it is a pretty cool one. We've also opened up a Patreon as of late where if you join, you'll be automatically entered to win one tech gadget every month in our exclusive giveaways. Details to that are going to be down below. Don't forget to check out the description for everything. Now let's get right into the video. So let's begin with an unboxing. It does come in a pretty tiny box with two seals on the side. Opening it up, you can pull the box out and find the instructions right on top. So go ahead and remove that in order to find the Stream Deck Mini, and it will be attached to its USB cable already. The exterior design consists of plastic, but this is a pretty nicely weighted device, to be honest. I was surprised to see that this actually has some decent weight to it, which means that it should be able to withstand some hard presses when being used, and yes, that did in fact end up being the case. And this device is also extremely tiny and easily fits in the palm of my hand. It's very discreet and easy to tuck away. It also only has one position for propping it up, and the stand is not adjustable whatsoever. It is also completely attached, so you cannot detach it if you want to, like something, let's say like the Stream Deck XL or anything like that. Let's go ahead and talk about the buttons here. Now the buttons feel identical to the ones on the rest of the Stream Deck. They honestly feel a little bit mushy upon touch, and pressing down gives you a nice click. Pretty much exactly like every other Stream Deck that I have tested so far. And as you can see, this has its display, which is split into 6 different buttons, and that's what you've got available to you with this model in particular. This is a tiny little surprise that they can do quite a bit, and I'm actually going to talk about its capabilities coming very soon. This device operates on the Stream Deck software that lets you customize every button to your heart's content. However, right off the bat, while you do get the option to put little animations and more mundane things on there on this device, it's just not worth it because of the limited amounts of space that you have. So putting those aside, you can go ahead and play shortcuts to different software on this. So you can also download plugins to monitor your follower count on Twitch, and you can also include your keyboard shortcuts for editing, or if you're playing some kind of MMO, like let's say Final Fantasy 14, you can include any kind of shortcuts that you want on these in order to access your abilities with just one button press, and you can even put the corresponding icon on it in order to really customize it in a sense that just makes it seem like it's meant for that purpose, since you can't customize the images on this too. And not to mention that you do get the same controls that you would out of the other Stream Decks, like use transitions in OBS and Streamlabs OBS and many more. And you can control your lights if they're compatible, and that includes nano leaves as well. Now you actually get a ton of functionality out of this, but let me talk about how I use the 6 buttons available on the Stream Deck Mini. And I pretty much just kind of have this set up for some transitions. And you can actually set folders to move across like different pages, so technically you're not really limited to just 6 buttons total, but only 6 buttons at a time. But there's one button that is dedicated to switching profiles, which pretty much translates to pretty much only having 5 buttons available for use. So I've actually gone ahead and set the transitions to my live stream, and that has been very helpful in that regard. It helps that it's not really a lot of keys, so I don't scrounge around for any kind of shortcuts or any of my transitions or anything like that. I kind of just immediately know where everything is already, and it does kind of force me to keep things concise and just focus on the essentials, which I would say is the main benefit of using one that is this tiny, aside from obviously saving some money along the way. However, I think that with any product, it is important to address the compromises that you're getting with this product. For one, the attached USB cable makes it so that if anything happens to this cable, you'll just have to buy a new model right off the bat. And they also could have included a braided cable instead of this rubber one, to be honest. And the screen seems to be pretty dim, which I was pretty surprised and disappointed in. Like, just considering that the Stream Deck and the Stream Deck XL have much brighter screens, at the very least from what I've noticed, it does seem like this one is lacking a little bit in that department. And if I'm frank, I do wish that the Mini had a few more buttons. Like maybe 8 buttons in total instead of just 6 would have made a massive difference in not only adding more value to this device, but if you want like just a couple of extra buttons, then you have to buy a regular size Stream Deck with 15 keys. Like if you want more than 6 keys, you are kind of limited to that pretty strange in between. And I do find myself often running out of room with just 6 keys or 5, as I mentioned earlier, but this device is still very much usable and very, well, useful for streaming. So in conclusion, I do stand by the fact that I was pretty harsh on it some time ago, and I underestimated what making the most out of how little you have can really make a big difference to the user experience. My issue is honestly with the price, as it is somewhere between $80 and $100. I think it's supposed to cost just $80, but it is constantly fluctuating. However, if 15 buttons is too much for you or too many, or you really think that 6 or less are more than good enough, then this could actually be a very powerful little budget tool to boost up your streaming setup. And I can recommend it to those people specifically, but I can't help but to feel that a lot of people will want more than 6 buttons because, you know, some people need to have that kind of accessibility readily available. So for those of us, we will need a Stream Deck or Stream Deck XL. I personally have the XL because I do end up using quite a few of those buttons where I needed more than 15 buttons, but I didn't quite need the 32 that the XL comes with. So yeah, I still had to go with the XL. So there aren't too many in betweens. However, the Stream Deck Mini is better than I gave it credit for, and I have to say that yes, I can indeed recommend it. And by the way, to our patrons, we are currently giving away the Stream Deck Mini, again, on our Patreon. And if you are a tier 2 or a tier 3 patron already, then you have been automatically entered into the giveaway. And if you yourself are interested in participating in the giveaway, and then do make sure to stop by as well. And we do have 3 tiers to choose from. However, only the top 2 can actually gain access to participating in this month's giveaway of the Stream Deck Mini. And best of luck to all of you. Every single month we're going to be giving away a tech product, and when we reach 50 patrons, it's going to be every single week instead, and it is going to be of a similar value to this, or like roughly around so you would always be able to get your money's worth, of course. And we do also offer like bonus episodes of the Tech Summit podcast and things like that. However, if you just wanted to go ahead and get yourself a Stream Deck Mini, then I am going to be leaving links down to Amazon, and there's also going to be ABUNDA, which is going to be a great service for financing something like this where you don't need your own credit card. It's super easy to use and to mess around with, so strongly recommended. Everything is going to be down in the description. I wanted to give a very special thanks to all of our tier 3 patrons. This is going to be the $10 patrons, the Tech Summit Conquerors. That is going to be Saad, Al-Wazal, and Omar. Thank you so much for your support and for going this far and helping us out. And now to the rest of our patrons coming right up. And this is super important. I would just like to give a very special thanks to all of our patrons, which are going to be listed right here on the screen. Again, a massive thanks to you all for supporting us to help us create the kind of content that we bring to you on a day-to-day basis. And thank you so much for supporting the Tech Summit podcast as well. And just remember that if you would like to be a part of this community too, and then do make sure to check out the links to our Patreon, where you don't only get bonus episodes of our podcast, but you also get automatically entered into one of our monthly giveaways of a tech product that we have reviewed that is of at least $50 in value or higher. So links to that down below. And don't forget about the rest of our social media. That is going to be right around here as well, or in the bottom in the description, as you will be able to find. But with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.